The Helios 2 Pro from Fantech aims to continue the success of what I called the best mouse of 2022, the WARHURYEAH XD7.
Hello.
And I'll tell you now, Fantech have gone in really hard with this mouse. This is packed with stuff that's unique to just this mouse, and it's also using an old and popular shape. Not only did Fantech send me this to review, they also dropped something else as well, which is pretty nutty. Before we get to that, my expectations for this mouse are very high. Again, I called the XD7 the best mouse of last year, narrowly beating the Atlantis, the Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro and Viper V2 Pro, as the build quality, performance and value for money on that mouse was incredible. I expect nothing less from the Helios 2. We'll take a deep dive into the shape of the mouse and also this pretty exciting mousepad later. Now though, there's some specifications to go through, which includes something that I haven't said in countless other videos. What I have said in countless other videos though is this. This mouse is using the Pixar 3395 sensor, which is one of the best on the market and is seen in most, if not all, modern gaming mice, with the exception of Zowie. Not only that though, but this mouse is also using a Nordic MCU, which means that this mouse supports up to 4000 Hz polling rate when used with the correct dongle, which is included with the amazing price that I'll share with you shortly. You may be thinking, where does the new stuff come in and what about the mousepad? Well, that's coming in just a second. This mouse is using optical switches. These aren't the same that are commonly found in other mice like the WARHURYEAH optical switch, which I have said previously I'm not a fan of as they just feel really hollow and low quality. The Helios 2 is using TTC Gold optical switches. These were the switches Roccat used as Titan opticals, which I hated. But luckily these are updated versions which are said to feel more tactile. I'll let you know what I think of these possibly controversial switches later, but here's a quick sound check and comparison. The next bit of interesting new tech is what's called the F-switch tactile encoder for the scroll wheel. Fantech says this has unrivaled tactility and reliability, and as someone that's a bit of a scroll wheel snob, this is very important to me. And finally, the mousepad. This was a huge surprise when this arrived, as I had no idea it was coming, and that wasn't the only surprise I got. This was a pretty unique experience to me, as I don't really follow mousepads that much. Anyway, this arrived flat, and it also stressed very clearly to not bend the mousepad, so I've been moving this around like it's some holy artifact that I'm taking to the promised land, as I don't want to damage it. I've been told by the omnipresent being known as Fantech Josh that it's similar to the Fnatic Jet, but uses a different manufacturing process as it's using a fiberglass infusion. I'll share my thoughts on playing with this later, but you can tell this mousepad means business when it's got an installation guide with it. Doing this basically keeps the mousepad stuck on the desk so it won't move at all. Now we get to the good stuff, the shape. The dimensions for the Helios 2 are 120mm long, 64mm wide and 38mm tall. This is similar to the Zowie S2, a mouse that a lot of people still hold dear to the hearts, and we'll see if that's true based on whether or not they buy this mouse. The main highlights for the shape is its raised front end, which sets it apart from other mice like the Lamzu Atlantis and the Pulsar X2 V2 as an example. I'll go through whether or not it's comfortable in a moment, but there are some more bizarre things to go through first. So now I thought I'd go through what you get in the box with this mouse, and it's interesting. Obviously you get your spare cable, you also get some spare mouse feet, and they do come with dot skates as well, which is really good. You get some grip tape, you also get a lot of stickers, and not only that, you also get this. It's a gold coin. Why do you get a gold coin? I don't know. Is it real gold? Ow. It hurts my teeth, so it's not chocolate. But this is probably one of the weirdest things that I've seen come with a gaming mouse. Now we get to my recommendation. Should you buy this mouse? Yes, and there's an extra big reason why, which I'll get to shortly, but if you need some more convincing, I'll go through some of the highlights and give my opinion on the finer details, as these will decide whether or not it's right for you. Throughout the whole mouse there's a really nice quality feel to it. From the side buttons to the structure, it's pretty much flawless. It weighs around 55 grams, which is a pretty decent weight point, I think. On the underside, there are some incredibly thin holes to get that weight down. And when it comes to using it in game, it's one of those mice where this mouse has no distractions, and it results in a great mouse that is amazing to play with. And when I combined it with this mousepad, it's incredible. I really like this mousepad. It's so fast, but it just has a hint of stopping power. So it's not as floaty as a glass mousepad. Even though there's no stitched edges, which I feel is a must and time will tell if excluding it is a mistake or not, it still feels like a premium mousepad. The best thing as well is it's water resistant. So cleaning it can be done with a damp cloth and a wipe and it's good as new. This mouse moves so effortlessly around the mousepad, and with the 55-gram weight, it's resulted in there being no fatigue whilst playing for many hours. The coating is a very soft matte, which I find is very comfortable against my skin, and it doesn't get uncomfortable when things get a bit sweaty. If you have small to medium sized hands, this is probably a good option for you. This is almost perfect, and yes, I said almost because I do feel like the switches aren't that great in comparison to mechanical. They are still better than some other optical switches I've tried, like the Ratio optical ones. The new scroll wheel is also amazing. As someone that is constantly using both the scroll and the click, this one feels incredible. It really is easy to scroll through whilst the notches remain tactile. It doesn't get stuck in between notches, and the mouse 3 click feels great. And the price of this is amazing as well. For the 4000Hz version, which comes with the dongle as well, it costs around $84.80. And I'm pretty sure that's undercutting a lot of other companies that are selling a 4000Hz dongle separately. The mousepad costs around $38.80. It comes in one size, which is 490 by 420mm and is 3mm thick. I think it's well worth getting. To me, this is like a more polished version of the Fantech Jet, and it's a good alternative to glass. It's easy to maintain as it's cleanable with a wipe, it's liquid resistant as well, and if the sticky base that requires installation instructions doesn't sound good to you, you can get a version with a more traditional base. Fantech has released 2 products that are honestly just amazing. I mean, I told you that Fantech went in hard with this mouse, and it shows. The quality of the Helios 2 is incredible. It is definitely worth buying. But where will it finish in the best mouse of 2023? Well, that video is coming soon, my friends, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Now you've got your mouse, the video on screen now might help you pick out the best gaming keyboard.